Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and I have to say one of the joys of having a channel and just being really active in the board game industry is that folks see my videos, they see what kinds of games I like to play and the games that hit my table. And so I was contacted by Mattel and they said, hey, we've got this two-player asymmetrical game that is a fast, fun, thematic game with a variety of plays in it. I was like, okay, send me the game. So they sent me a copy of Spirits of the Wild Awakening, and I have to say, it really did live up to the pitch. I am blown away by just the amount of play that is in this very small box and the fun that's here. So let me show you what players are doing on their turn. Now, the cool thing about this is the game comes with a variety of suggestions of play, and I do want to show you that because that's kind of what I'm basing this off of, and also my plays. So when I look in the rule book, I'm going to show you up close. I've got this animal board set up. So the cool thing about this is the iconography. So right here, it says Spirits of the Wild can be played with any grouping of 5 animal boards and 6 spirit power cards, but looking at the combinations, these are some suggestions for interesting themes and different gameplay that they have essentially balanced with those 2 major components in the game. So what I've got here are first steps, and you've got owl, rabbit, beaver, salmon, and turtle, and then it comes with those 6 cards. So what that looks like, let me show you in my table here, is I've got the cards, and you'll see the star. So they've got the star in the corner, so it's super easy for setup, and you've got these guys here, and you simply divide them into 2 stacks of 3. Then you find both players, your owl, rabbit, beaver, salmon, turtle. You'll set up your boards like this, and you'll see too that there are all the other animals. You got the Gila monster, the bullfrog, the moth, the otter, raven, jackrabbit, pack rat, moose, ants, and condor. So these are going to be all the other ones you don't play with this turn. And of course, you've got all those other cards as well that you're not playing with for your spirit power. So now that I've got it set up, I've got all 5. My fellow opponent has all 5 played out as well. We've got the coyote right here in the center. We have these stones. We start with 4 in the center in this little dish with the bag with all the rest of the stones in them. And then these are the action tiles. So on your turn, you are simply going to say, I activate one of my tiles, do what it says, and then play passes to the opponent. So as the start player, over here, my opponent, my husband, Lewis, has actually, you have to turn down this tile face down to begin with because that says take 2 stones from the open tray. So as the start player, you begin, but you also have a little bit of a disadvantage with that tile flipped face down. So let's say he decides to, he can draw 2. This is draw 2 from the bag, put it into the dish, take 1, take 2, take 1 and take 1. Over here, add 3 to the dish and move the coyote, which if you put the coyote on an opponent's animal, that animal cannot be added to. You cannot add stones to those delicious little spaces you have for them. So it blocks them, but the coyote will move quite regularly. And then this last tile says that if you have already flipped over at least 3 of your other tiles, you refresh everything and you take one of these cards, read what it says, do it, and then put it on the bottom of that particular stack. And that's really good. These spirit animal powers are really, really good. So yeah, let's just have Lewis play. He says, I'm going to take one of these guys. So he's going to flip it over, and he's going to take 1 stone, and he's going to put it into one of the spaces on his board. So let's say he puts it right there on that owl. It says right here, same colored pairs. Each pair gives you 3 points. This is a pair, that's a pair, and that's a pair. Done. He just did that. He wants to get another yellow to go there. And he's just going to place that guy right there. And if he gets another yellow, 3 points at the end of the game. So then it's going to pass to me. I want to take the 2. The 2 is a really good one. So I'm going to flip this guy over, and I'm going to take 2 stones from here. Now, if I want the beaver, it says I can have 3 of a kind, and I can have 2 of a kind. If I get the 3 of a kind by the end of the game, it's 5 points. If I get a pair, it's going to get 2 points, and I get a +7 if both sets are complete. Now, there aren't any similar stones in here. They're different colors, so I think I might go with the rabbit. So if I take the blue and I take the white, rabbit says 3 different colors, 6 points. If I can get one more of any color, I'm going to get the rabbit. And if I can get an iridescent or clear gem, which is not out here, I can put it in the corner, lock it down, and essentially that gives me double points for the scoring. So it would get me 12 if I could complete this and get one of those in there. Now, I do mention the iridescence. Now let me show you inside here what those guys look like. So it's this guy right here. So you'll see here that there are all the different colors, and then there's this kind of like, clear one. Once you have, let me put these guys back in, 5 or more of those iridescent gems or stones out on the table anywhere, inside the dish, on a player's board, that's going to trigger the end of the game, and then you're going to score up everyone's boards based on what it says. And we've already talked about the owl, the beaver, the rabbit. The salmon says one of each color. You want all 6 colors, and if you can, it's 13 points, and there's a scale of 1 to 13 points based on 1 to 6, and you can also get that double up there in the corner. And then turtle says all one color, and if you can get 5 of one color, you can get up to 14 points. So this is a back and forth game of activating your tiles, getting to essentially take, but once these are all gone, essentially you got to add, right? That's why you've got these add tiles, and so you're going to have to put stones. You just draw from the bag, place them in there, and continue. And of course, you've got those delightful spirit powers over here whenever you do the refresh all of your tiles action. Coyote also moves. Here's one way. Let's say it goes back to Lewis because I just took my turn. My opponent's going to do this action, taking 1. Uh-oh, look, it made a coyote face symbol. So he takes 1 and he wants to add it to, let's do turtle. He's going to try to go for all one color, all reds. Now this symbol formed this. It reminds you that you've got essentially your coyote on the back. That means you get to, when you do both of those, move the coyote to an opponent's space. Let's say he puts it right there on my rabbit and says, I don't want you getting the 3 different colors for 6 points this next turn because you could possibly get it by drawing 2 and taking 1, and then it would be done. So he's going to prevent me from doing that. So I'm going to have to find some way to move coyote and to essentially be able to add to rabbit. So this is, again, the delightful feel of this game, and how when you have your opponent, you play with the same animals, but you are getting to do very different things with your action tiles and with where you place your stones. And of course, it really is dependent on what you draw from the bag. So let's say I did draw 2 and then take 1. I'll take 2, put them in there. I got yellow and black, and yeah, I could have taken this and put it here, but of course, Coyote blocked me. So instead, I'm going to take maybe this guy and I'll add to salmon, and I'm working towards the 1 of each color. It seems like we're getting a variety. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. I take it back. I'm going to take the yellow, because if I leave that yellow, he's going to pair up his owl. I don't want to do that. I don't want to leave him that juicy opportunity. Always be looking what your opponent is doing. And we will just continue back and forth until we trigger the end of the game with those 5 clear or iridescent stones in play anywhere on the table. And yeah, I mean, this is great. Look at Ram. I mean, these cards are so good. So whenever you get the chance to do a refresh, which usually is kind of like that pass move, it's not that bad, because you're going to get this, for example, take 2 stones from the bag. Just reach in the bag, draw 2 random stones, take them. Wolf, add 4 stones, take 1. That's even better than the add 3 and maybe move the coyote. This one says deer. Return 1 of your stones to the bowl and take 2. You see 2 out there that would actually be better for you. You're making progress, but not great progress. Return that 1, take 2 more. So there's just some really, really good things here. And that's, again, just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the animals and then those spirit power cards that you've got. Cool, clever, two-player game. This does not take that long. It says 20 minutes on the box. It's 20 to 30 minutes for a game. And it comes in a nice, slim, two-player box. It's good. It's really, really solid. I love the mechanics. And I again, just going to spend more time discovering the combinations of animals, the combinations of cards, going through that suggested track. That's where I started, went through all of them, really, really enjoyed those combinations they suggested, and just can't wait to keep on doing it. So this is just honestly the latest in some fun stuff that's hitting my tables. I was really surprised and impressed by the gameplay and by the quickness of the game. 20 to 30 minutes, not that long. So Spirits of the Wild Awakening, what a treat, what a delight. So excited to add it to my collection. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.